appreciate you looking out for me. I'm going to be holding up cards here in a minute, but we got it.
This man's been working his ass off under the weather all weekend, y'all. So, if you don't think nobody's appreciating it, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We're going to do something off of By the Horns for you. And it's one of my favorite songs on By the Horns, and it was written at a kitchen table in Charlotte, North Carolina. Ben called me one day and said, I got an idea. So I went over to his house. It became this. Hope you like it. I'm turning it loose on you. This is called The Devil You Know. Polish off the bottle, smoke one more cigarette. Advice only that helps you to forget all the things you see on the screen. There to remind you how good your life should be. So it goes. With the devil you know. The devil you know haunts you when you're turning those good days into a losing streak. Tossing in your bed, run down like nothing but the voice in your head. So it goes. With the devil you know, on it goes. Forgiving all forgotten, you're the voice in your head. You're the devil that you know. It's always been true. So it goes. With the devil you know, on it goes. Still it goes. With the devil you know, on it goes. Thank y'all so much. We'd like to thank Southern Discomfort for starting the show for us. Great band. Is this not a great place to be? But you know what? I'm just surprised at how successful this place is. Because it's Earl's Hideaway, and I've been here about 8 times, and I've never seen Earl. So it's a fucking hell of a hiding place for Earl. I just walk around looking at people going, could that be Earl? That might be Earl. But I appreciate it. But DJ Earl's here. It's another song off of our newest record. And it's called, is that Earl? You look different than I thought you would, Earl. You've held up. This place has been here a long time. You've held up you've held up well. I want to know your secret. I love this song. I'm going to sing it from the heart. In the morning, if I'm still breathing, send me on my way. There's so much left to do, and nothing more to say. I know that I've been better. I've been worse. I'll keep on living. It's a blessing and a curse. People try to tell you, but you don't hear the words. Left to your own devices, you take a turn for the words. You know that you've been better, but sure as hell been worse. You keep on living between a blessing and a curse. A blessing and a curse. Oh. You know that you've been better, but it sure as hell been worse. There's a light worth living between a blessing and a curse. A blessing and a curse. Oh, take the church, man. Robinson on guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Introduce my friends to before we go any further. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy who just played his ass off on guitar, Mr. Ben Robinson, Ben Danger Robinson. Ben's been coming here for a long time. The Ben Robinson Band, and in Skinny Velvet. Okay, so the Ben Robinson Band 1 and the Ben Robinson Band 2. I've only been here with Preacher Stone, but we'll get to me in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, on bass guitar, the man who covers my ass more than anybody, Mr. Jim Bolt. On lead guitar right here, the new guy who's been with us for a year and a half, but it seems like he's been with us forever. One of the most fun-loving people I ever have known, and we did not know that he was a practical joker until about a year and a half in. Right, Ben? The new guy, Mr. Darryl Witt on guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, in the back, my oldest son, the incomparable Wyatt.
But hang on, kids, we're running a special on this Sunday. If you like everything you see, for no extra charge, we will throw in Ron Wood's favorite singer in the world, Mr. Ronnie Riddle, y'all.
Thank you so much. We're going to do the song that brought us here. Somebody was asking me earlier, so how did y'all, everybody always wants to know, how did y'all get a song on Sons of Anarchy? Honest to God, I don't know. I know we had people in our corner that were trying really, really hard to get it on there. We were trying to get on a show called Justified, and that didn't work. So then somebody called and said, would you let us use one of your songs for a podcast for Sons of Anarchy fans? And we said, sure. And about 2 weeks later, the guy, Bob Thiel, that was the musical director for Sons of Anarchy, called and said, can we use Not Today on the show? And we were like, well, hell yeah. And they thought it was so nice they did it twice, seasons 3 and season 5. So I say that because if it were not for that song, we probably wouldn't be here right now, and I wouldn't know you wonderful people. So here's a song about love gone wrong, domestic difficulties, all solved in the Rowan County, North Carolina way, in which there are no witnesses, no DNA, and no problem. It's called Not Today. Somewhere out of town, laughing behind my back like I was a joke. Not the last time I ain't just blow smoke off. Every dog is gonna have his day.
Your party's coming up.
And there's gonna be hell to pay. Too many times it seems the bad guys get away.
Your turn.
Shotgun in my brother's boat. Cell blocks on a longer chain now, so we all go. So good enough for fishing, water's still black. 2 boats are going, only one of me coming back. 'Cause every dog is gonna have his day. And it's gonna be hell to pay. since I hit down. Nobody tried the river, nobody asked around. Yeah, she don't miss it, she never shed a tear. It's a hell of a story, nobody's ever gonna hear. 'Cause every dog is gonna have his day. Then there's gonna be hell to pay. Too many times it seems the bad ones get away. Oh, not today. No, not today. Ain't no witness, ain't no crime, ain't no woman but do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt on drums. The wind was in the hollow of old 21. Still the best shot, it's a choiceless dream. If somebody missing these fantasy, it never grows from a bad seed.